Hi, I'm Allyson Lewis with the 7-Minute Life. We're so glad you're here. This is our webinar, How to Fix Your Time Management. Time management is a huge issue for people all across the U.S. and really all across the world. And I've struggled with it all of my life. But it wasn't until 2011 that I was formally diagnosed with adult attention deficit disorder. I know what it's like to try to manage your time. And this is the theory where it all started. Imagine that your 24-hour workday is like this whiteboard, except without all the writing on it. One of the things that I realized as I began to work on my attention is that I have a limited capacity of the number of things I can do because I have a limited number of hours that I can do them. And what I was using as my time management tool was at that time a paper calendar, and what most people use now is a smartphone of some type. And all that a calendar did for me was tell me when I needed to do something. So I'd wake up in the morning, I'd look at my calendar or my smartphone, and I'd know when I needed to be where. And that was my time management. So I'd walk into the office, and here is what would really happen. Literally, the moment I got there, someone would come up to me, and they'd hand me a task, and they'd say, "Allyson, I need you to do this task, and it's urgent, 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 urgent." And then all of a sudden, the phone would start ringing. And I would hear it ringing, ringing, ringing. And they were all urgent. It didn't even matter if it was important or not. And then when email came in, I would get email, 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 email. And what would happen is I would get to the end of the day at 5 p.m. or maybe even 7 p.m. as you can see written up here. And I would look at what I was supposed to have accomplished and the day was gone. And I realized that that was a really big problem. I had no time to do anything, and I felt stress. So what we're going to be talking about as we open into this webinar that we recorded is a whole other philosophy. We all have 24 hours a day. In order to fix it, you need to realize how limited a capacity it is. And what I had to realize is that I had to make choices of what I was going to let into my day. In fact, as a person with ADD, not only did I have things occur during the day, but I had things swirling in my mind of all the unfinished tasks that I hadn't already completed because I had procrastinated or just simply not gotten done. So it wasn't a simple matter of having a problem with time management. It was a problem that my time management was hurting my life. It wasn't a problem of when. It was a matter that I was overwhelmed and didn't know what to do. So I began to research time management. Yes, the person that struggled with it the most began to study it. And I realized it wasn't a when problem. I realized for me, I didn't even know what to do. I had never taken the time to clarify exactly what I really needed to do every day. And I found out that when I set goals, the goals helped me clarify what actions I needed to take. And then I further realized that I couldn't do 20 things a day. That's not how I'm hardwired. Time management for me wasn't about doing more. Time management had to be for me about doing more of the right things. So when I knew what I needed to do, then I could set boundaries of what I would let into every day. So now assume that this is my Outlook calendar. And I have 3 projects I want to work on. I have 1 meeting and 1 proposal I need to finish. Well, that was great. But it was still lacking a couple of things. I knew what I needed to do. I could put them on my calendar. But what was missing was the why. Why? Why was I here? Why was I working so hard? Why did I need to even fix my time management? And so we stepped back and we said, what are priorities? What is our purpose? What's the highest and best use of our time? Why am I willing to work so hard? This is where we really need to spend time, is understanding our why and then understanding our goals. So why the 7-Minute Life is different It's not so much about the when as it is understanding why you do what you do, setting goals for what you will do, then learning how to translate them into a day where you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high value activities that you're skilled at accomplishing and that bring fulfillment and meaning into your life. We call these high value activities. So once you know your why, your what, and your how, then all you have to do is schedule them onto your calendar. We believe this can help you fix your time management. I hope you enjoy the webinar, and I'll be back to close it up as soon as it's over. Hi, this is Allyson Lewis, and we are here with the 7-Minute Life. Welcome to my living room, and I'd like to introduce you to Big J Cotton. Why did I bring him up? Because dogs have the best time management in the world. They live in the present moment, they're happy, and they bring us joy. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So, you're going to need to fasten your seatbelt because this is how you fix your time management. And there's going to be some things that you find out today that may be a little bit surprising to you, but maybe not. You'll see that what we have created in my living room today is a calendar that looks very much like your Outlook calendar. And every morning you come in with activities and to-dos that you need to accomplish. And so there you go. That's what most people's time management looks like. Well, I feel like time management can be very different. We are glad that everyone is here. Hi, Brian. Hi, Wendy. Good morning. Lots of you are coming because time management is an incredible issue. Time management. When you walked in this morning, I want to know, was your heart pounding with excitement? Were you delighted? Did you feel like your life was going to matter and make a difference? Well, here we go. I want to start by asking you some big life questions. What was your life like yesterday? How did you feel when you woke up this morning? Do you have a deep understanding of your purpose in life? What drives you? Who will you be 90 days from now? The 7-Minute Life is built on a 90-day platform. Why are you willing to work so hard? And the last question is, are you happy? You know, time and what we experience every day make it a tremendous impact on how we experience happiness and joy and fulfillment. Now, time is what we specialize in at the 7-Minute Life. For years, we have helped people with time management. And originally, we were there because we felt like we wanted to help people improve their time management so that they could do more every day and that they could do it more efficiently. But let me define time. Time is actually defined in many different ways. Of course, I went to my favorite source for definitions, which is Wikipedia. And Wikipedia goes back to the Greek. And in the Greek, there are two types of time. There's kairos, which really means a time appointed by God. It means a moment or a season. Time is an event or a part of your life. And then there's chronos. Chronos is like the watch you're wearing, and it's the seconds ticking by every day. I didn't really realize that there were two types of time, that there are seasons in life and that there are minutes in life. In the Hebrew, it also said on Wikipedia that they have a saying, if not now, then when? If not now, then when? And I began to realize, wow, there's so many things in life that I want to do now, but I don't have the time to do them now. So at the end of this program, what I hope you're going to come away with is an understanding of how you can have more energy, less stress, and time to find more meaning in your life. The 7-Minute Life is about rediscovering time for your life. Have you even taken 7 minutes to think about what you want your life to be like today? When was the last time you slowed down from that chaos and confusion and stress? Life is very precious, and we want to help you have time to experience more life. Now, with the 7-Minute Life, I always get the question, Allyson, why are your books called The 7-Minute Difference and The 7-Minute Solution and The 7-Minute Life Daily Planner? Why 7 minutes? Well, I was doing research on time management, and I found that the average adult has an attention span of just 7 minutes. And part of that is how we were created. When we look at life, if we did not see distractions, if we were not aware of what was going on around us when we were first humans, a saber-toothed tiger could come up and get us. And so we needed to be able to have attention that could be distracted to be aware of certain things. And that is still true. But I think what's happened is that our attention span is shrinking from this 7 minutes because of things like cell phones that text and interrupt us, and Facebook that comes in and says, oh, it's urgent, or phone calls or knocks on our door. I don't believe my attention is 7 minutes anymore. And your time management is really going to be keyed on how you can improve not your time management. Time management is not a time issue. You can't change the fact that there are 24 hours every day. Time management is an attention issue. It is a focus issue. And what we're going to help you do is have skill sets and strategies and tools to improve your attention, to improve your focus so that you can truly concentrate on exactly what you need to do. There is plenty of time to get that done. If you studied attention, you'll find that attention can go from 2 seconds to 20 minutes, that there are several different types of attention. There is focused attention, there is sustained attention, and there is divided attention. And what we deal with in our life is divided attention. Even right now, as you're trying to pay attention on how you can improve your attention, there are things all around us trying to distract us from paying attention to how we can change our lives. It's amazing to me that right when I'm in the middle of doing something that is really important to me, that something as simple as my phone buzzing on my desk can take me away from the thoughts that I was having and completely distract me from getting that done. When was the last time you were really in the moment, doing something you loved? You could focus on that for not just 20 minutes, but for hours. It has to do with making sure that we line up our strengths and our skills and our goals and our priorities so that we're focusing on things that we love to do, that we can do well. That's when your time management is going to improve. Now, I want to make it clear that attention deficit disorder is a huge issue for millions of people around the world. And it probably comes as no surprise to those of you that know me personally that in 2011, I personally was diagnosed with an adult attention deficit disorder. I am incredibly creative. I have 1,000 ideas a minute. And in some ways, ADD is a blessing for me. But in many ways, my entire life, it has been a very difficult thing to get things done. Oh, I can come up with great ideas for how to do business, but as soon as I think about it, that idea has been bumped off, and I'm chasing off up after something else. And my guess is, even if you're not diagnosed with adult attention deficit disorder, you know someone that struggles with it, and even you struggle with focusing your attention and getting rid of the distractions. Now, let me tell you how serious distraction is. It used to be an ancient form of torture. The word distraction, I have been told, comes from an ancient form of torture where they would tie one arm to a horse, and they would tie another arm to a second horse, and they would tie a third arm, a third horse to your left leg, and a fourth horse to your right leg, and then they would slap the horses, and the horses would literally distract you. When we're distracted, when our attention is distracted, we are pulled in all directions. Now imagine yourself literally standing up, pulled in all directions with ropes pulling you. That's how you feel. That's how we feel when our time management is broken. And if you are literally tied and pulled in all directions, there is not a single hope of taking one step forward in life. We have to remove the distractions, and we have to learn how to focus. This picture is an example of what we're going to be offering to you today. To improve your focus, you have to have a couple of things. One, you have to have a destination. So just like these cars that are driving over this bridge, they know where they're going. We must make it crystal clear that we know where we're going. The second thing that I want you to notice is that this bridge is pretty high over a very large body of water. So what you see, especially on the left and the right, are guardrails and fences. In other words, they've added protective boundaries along this bridge so that people feel safe going across it. Can you imagine if this bridge was nothing but the flat asphalt, where if you went past that shoulder, your car would speed off at 70 miles an hour? I guess that if that were the case, if there were no guardrails, you would be going much slower down these roads. So time management really is improved when we put boundaries around ourselves, when we put guardrails up of what we will allow into our lives, when we know exactly where we're going. So I figured out that I needed a tool. I needed a tool that would act as a bridge, that would give me a direction and a path that would be bounded by guardrails to help me keep my attention in a single location. And that's when we began the 7-Minute Life. And the 7-Minute Life is a time strategy. It is a series of concepts and ideas and tools and community members that are all working together to try to understand the importance of life. It is not a calendar. It's just not a calendar. As I look at the calendar of 2014, I'm pretty excited. I love New Year's, and it is hard for me to believe that it's already April 17th. Now, the 7-Minute Life is built on 90-day increments. I want you to realize and look at May, June, July, the next 90 days. How fast are they going to come and go? Can you imagine? We're going to blink, and it's going to be the 4th of July. And then we're going to blink again, and it's going to be December 31st. And my question to you is, do you clearly know where you're going? In the next 90 days, can you look ahead and say, the activities that are on my calendar are going to make my life meaningful, that it's going to make my life matter, that at the end of 90 days, I will have touched someone's life, and I will be in touch with my own purpose, and I'll have time to do the things that matter. Or 90 days from today at the end of July, will you look and say, my life is just the same chaos and disorganization and clutter? So we're glad you're here today. We believe that people's time management is broken. I certainly know that I struggle with it every day. I still have ADD, and we're going to be offering things to help you. I want you to understand that a calendar is important. I work with both a printed calendar and also a smartphone that is connected to my computer, because a calendar reminds you when you need to do activities. And it's critical that we know when we need to accomplish them. But I want you to understand that that is the limitation of a calendar. A calendar merely gives you the when in life. When will you choose to do a task? Now, it doesn't matter if it's an important task or an unimportant task, but a calendar will beep and remind you and tell you it's time to accomplish something. The 7-Minute Life, our community, is not a calendar. Rather, it is a series of tools. It's a series of things to get you along the path so that you can live a life. The 7-Minute Life is breathing in life. It's experiencing life. It's knowing where you're going and executing things that matter not only to you but make a difference in the world around you. It reconnects you with a life that matters. When was the last time you felt that burning desire of getting up with excitement? That's what time management is about. It's about having time to do the things that drive you and make a difference in the world. So a calendar provides you the when. The 7-Minute Life will provide you the tools to understand your why, your what, and your how. Why do you need to be doing certain things? What tasks do you need to accomplish? And then how will you accomplish them? Can you see the difference? Calendar is important. You need to know when. The 7-Minute Life provides so much more. I want to be in touch with the why. Why was Allyson Lewis created? Why were you created? What are your gifts and talents? What are your priorities? What's your purpose in life? What's the why behind what you're going to do today? And then did you even take time to create a 7-minute daily plan of action of what you need to do today? Do you have it written down in front of you of what are the tasks that will draw me closer to the goals that I want to accomplish? And then how are you going to do that? Physically, how are you going to do it? What tasks, what activities do you need to do that? And now that gets me excited. The human heart, my heart's kind of pounding right now. I'm excitable. And my pastor, Dan Reeves, at Journey Campus here in Jonesboro, Arkansas, was speaking several years ago, and he told a great story about the human heart. As you're sitting in your chair right now, listening to this webinar, your heart is beating even without you knowing it. And it's beating at exactly the pace you need to sustain the life that you need right now. If you were to get up and go for a walk, your heart would begin to beat just a little bit faster. It would just beat at exactly the amount of blood flow that you needed to walk. But what if you went running? You wouldn't have to tell your heart, I'm about to go running. I need you to be really fast so that you can take care of me and I won't run out of blood and oxygen. It just knows to beat faster. And then he said, you know, life is like that. Your life is ready to provide exactly what you want. And he paused for a moment and he asked the congregation, he said, what will you ask of your life? And that just stunned me. And then he said, life is ready to deliver exactly what you ask of it. And it even further made me realize that I needed tools to motivate me. And we use this picture a lot. There is a finish line. 90 days is coming, but also 5 o'clock is coming every day. And when we hit 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I want to know that I can finish with excitement and with joy. I want to really lift my arms at the end of the day and say, I've done it. Motivation is what drives you. Motivation causes you to take action. Motivation says, I'm not going to be the same person tomorrow that I am today. I'm going to choose to do something. I'm going to take just that one step forward. John Maxwell has a great saying. He says, you are the way you are because that's the way you want to be. Now I'm going to pause and let that sink in. Let me repeat that. John Maxwell says, you are the way you are because that's the way you want to be. For years, I allowed myself to live in chaos. I didn't understand my priorities. I was not clear on my goals. I didn't understand my own gifts and strengths. I was the way I was because that's the way I wanted to be. And then there came a line in the sand. And I said there had to be a better way. And this is what the 7-Minute Life does. It starts with the foundation of understanding your priorities. And then it helps you create your own purpose. Why were you placed here on life? And it'll explain to you what your highest and best skills are. Are you doing tasks and activities that bring you joy, that bring out the very best in you? And then based on that foundation, it'll help you establish 90-day goals in writing. And then probably the most famous thing that we're known for is how to translate all of that, all of those goals into daily activities. And we call that using your 5 before 11. If you were just willing to accomplish 5 high-value tasks a day before 11 a.m., your time management and your productivity and your experience of life could be radically different. And we even talk about micro actions. What are the tiniest things you can do to make your life better? Simple things like staying hydrated, like taking a walk around your desk, taking simple breaks, making sure that you write things down, having a single place to keep everything. So let me give you some of these tools, and after the webinar, we'll send out links to where you can find a lot of these on the download so that you can use them. The very first place that we start is we ask people to prioritize what's most important in their life. And I'm often shocked that it's been years since people have really thought about what's important to them. And what happens to your brain when you look at this list, like I'm just looking at the top 3 words, love, faith, and family. When I look at those words, without even taking any action, they hold such strong emotional memories for me of how much I love my family and how important my faith is to me, and the people that love me, the friends, the parents, the brother, the people that are all around me. They're powerful words. Even hearing them and seeing them, that makes my life better. But what if you took 7 minutes to download this sheet and to check off the things that are most important to you, and then to, at the bottom of that worksheet, prioritize your top 10 priorities? Well, I just did it again yesterday, and I cheat a little bit because I think some of these things are tied together, but these are my top 10 priorities as of yesterday. Faith, family, friendships, and love, I feel like those are tied together. Health is very important to me, and renewal, constantly growing and improving my body, eating healthy. Number 4, peace and wisdom. 5, growing and learning. I love to read and experience. I'm glad you're on this webinar. I hope that you're going to find it to be a teaching opportunity. When we learn new things, they motivate us, and They make us different as people. Number 6, time and freedom. They're tied together for me. If I'm too busy, I have no freedom. If my time is organized and planned, I have freedom to live. I also want to experience joy and laughter and fun. I am 53 years old, almost 54. You need to find out when my birthday is and send me a card, because I love to celebrate life. We often miss that. Number 8, compassion and sharing hope. That's a priority for me. Number 9, I'm realizing that I want more order in my life. I want less stuff. I want simplicity. I want things to be clean. And number 10, I'm not fooling myself. As altruistic as everything is, we have to be financially secure or financially able to not worry. So these are priorities. And when I type them up and I look at a list of those things and I compare it to my Outlook calendar, can you see the power in that? Look at your Outlook calendar. Think about what it is that you're going to do today. Is there a single thing on your list that you're going to do today that is going to move you forward to being in touch with your own priorities? I found that there wasn't. And so I needed tools. Same thing's true with discovering your purpose. And I was 41 years old before I even knew what my purpose was in life. And my purpose in life is growing and sharing hope. I want to grow every day. I love to learn. I love to aggregate ideas. I know to create new ideas. I'm a writer. And I want to grow and learn so that I can share hope with people. My purpose is to share hope. I hope that by watching today, you will find time to figure out your own purpose. And it all begins in that top right-hand corner of what do you love? What is it that you love in life? So last night again, these are the things I love: God, my family, growing and learning, writing, sharing hope, laughter and joy, and I love new ideas. That took 4 minutes, but when was the last time you wrote down what you love about life? And will anything that you be doing today align with what you love in life? Are any of the tasks on your calendar aligned with that? And what about your work goals? Clarity, that bridge. People going over that bridge clearly knew where they were going. This downloadable worksheet, and all of these worksheets can be found on our website. We'll be sending a link to all of these after the webinar. When was the last time you took an hour and a half, 2 hours to think about what you want to accomplish, both personally and at home? The number one tool downloaded from the 7-Minute Life is the 90-Day Personal Goals Worksheet. It looks just like this. It has room for you to write 7 goals. And when I'm doing one-on-one coaching and consulting for people, I'm constantly amazed how hard it is for them to come up with goals that they want to accomplish in the next 90 days. It's hard to know. A goal for me is that I want to be in the best physical shape of my life. That's the goal. That has to be followed by actions. The actions are that I walk 45 minutes a day, 5 days a week. I drink 60 ounces of water. I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I do weight training with these tiny 2-pound and 5-pound weights 4 days a week. You have to have a goal and you have to have your actions. So I hope you're beginning to see that the 7-Minute Life is a series of tools that help you understand the why, which are your priorities and purpose, the what, which is your goals, and then we're going to talk about the how. The how is where it really comes down. I'm guessing that most of you already have a calendar or a smartphone or Outlook or Google Calendar. We're pretty good about the when. And we often get a lot of pushback that, hey, I already have a calendar. Well, we feel like what the 7-Minute Life does is it puts the why and funnels down and allows you then to schedule when you will do that. So the two are really needed. You've got to have the 7-minute life to provide the why, the what, and the how. And then you have to have a calendaring system to provide the when. This is where we come to the how. I want to imagine that when you walk in your office tomorrow morning, you have 2 blank sheets of paper and a book, like a journal, just sitting on your desk. And those 2 blank sheets of paper signify your entire day. Each new day that you are given is a gift, and it's a blank slate. Every day, every 24 hours, every moment of time is blank until you fill in the blanks. It is also limited. You have 24 hours of time that you'll experience tomorrow when you walk in and you see these 2 blank sheets. Time. Remember, 2 types of time: moments and seasons, and also chronos, which is minutes of time. You'll have 24 hours of life. I want to live a life that matters. On these 2 pieces of paper, what I want to have is not a blank tablet. I don't want to come in not knowing what I'm going to do. If those 2 pieces of paper are merely all I have, and I walk in with no script, with no plan of action, with no direction, it's like me going across the bridge with no guardrails. My ADD would kick in and I have 1,000 things I could do. When you woke up in the shower this morning and your head was spinning with ideas of what you wanted to accomplish, were they written down or were they just spinning through your head? Because things spinning through our head actually are just unfinished tasks that we may want to do at some point. And that constant spinning through our mind just causes mental clutter, and it actually weighs us down. And I want you to think about when you got in your car this morning and you fastened your seatbelt across your chest and you drove to work and you still had those things swirling in your head. When you got to the office, my guess is that all those things that you thought about doing changed when you got to the office, because you walked in and your computer was talking to you and your phone was ringing and your texts were going off and people were knocking at your door and you had people pulling you in all different directions. And guess what that was doing? That was a distraction. And they distracted you from what you wanted to do. And what's going to happen most days if you don't have a written daily plan of action is at the end of the day at 5 or 6 o'clock, you're going to hop back in your car, you're going to pull the seat belt back across your chest, you're going to sit down and take a breath and look at yourself in the rearview mirror, and you're going to realize, I didn't get a single thing done that I wanted to get done today. And you will feel defeated, stress, anxiety, and at loss. So here is the tool. Here is the simple tool that I created for me. I created it almost a decade ago. It's 2 pages. You can print it out front and back. On the website, it's available under our time strategy tools. It will help you get to. But it's just a daily progress report. I needed a tool for my ADHD. And I want you to look on the left-hand side at that very top box that says, what will I do 5 before 11? What would it be like if when you came in, instead of having a blank sheet of paper for what your 24 hours would be like, you had taken 7 minutes the night before to write down a daily plan of action. You had looked at your priorities. You had looked at your purpose. You understood your gifts and talents. You had goals you wanted to accomplish with action steps, and you could translate those action steps into high-value activities, just 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, that you would make an emotional commitment to accomplishing before 11 o'clock. What if you looked at the second block there, about 7-minute life connections? Life is about connections. Who do you want to have tea with today? Who do you want to sit down and have actually a phone conversation, not a text, not an email? Who do you want to go have lunch with? And wouldn't it be great to have just a single location to put your to-dos, all those unfinished tasks that come up during the day, even when you speak to somebody and you say, hey, I need to send you that report, write it down right there. And underneath unfinished tasks, what you spent. And on the left-hand side, who you spoke to that day and what you need to do. And on the right side, you'll see a place for appointments, not scheduling them, but what happened during those appointments. And then underneath that, you'll see that there's a place for thank you notes. When was the last time you wrote a thank you note to someone? Not only do they appreciate, but as you write a thank you note, your heart generates gratitude and excitement. And finally, there's a place for voicemail. So imagine having one tool every day sitting on your desk instead of thousands of Post-it notes, envelopes, notepads, legal pads, all those other places. And at the bottom of the right-hand side, I have room for notes. And this daily progress report, you'll see, comes in two forms. It can come in a book that is bound for 90 days, and it is undated, so you can start it at any time, or you can download them from our website, and they're dated individually, one day at a time. But it's a daily progress report, and this tool acts as the pathway, as the guardrails. I can choose to come in with no plan, with a blank sheet, and let life come at me, or I can choose to take time to create a written plan of action that is created in alignment with my priorities. This is a tool to live a life with intention. If you want to fix your time management, you have to become consciously aware of what you want to do. You have to choose what you will let into your life, and I think you have to choose it in writing. As a consultant on time management and productivity, and for me as a person with ADD, I need one location. That's why I've chosen to put everything in a book. I like the little spiral-bound book where I can put it in my purse, take it everywhere with me, and I have all of my notes in that location. I don't have to find voicemails or to-do lists. I can go back and find it all in one place. It also narrows my focus. I don't have to do 100 things. I have taken 7 minutes the day before to create my 5 before 11 list so that I know that if I accomplish these 5 things, I will feel that sense of the check mark, the power of getting it off my list. It gives me more freedom because once I'm done, I'm done. I have less stress because those things aren't circling in my head. It allows me to track my progress. I can see when I'm getting done. And the bottom line is, once I'm done, I have more time to live a life. So this is a little bit blown up picture of that. How powerful a tool can you see if you would choose to use a 5 before 11? I want to show you mine. I created this yesterday. This is my 5 before 11 for today. Actually, it's going to have to be moved till tomorrow because I'm talking to you today. But I'm a writer. I'm the founder of the 7-Minute Life. I want to help people find hope and purpose. My 5 before 11 is create an outline for the next event. Call John Arnold, who is our Chief Inspiration Officer, about our marketing strategy. Because we're touching thousands of lives now, but we think there are tens of thousands of people that have time management issues. And we want to touch tens of thousands of people. There are companies all across America that struggle with this. There are people with ADD that struggle with this. We want to help. I have a computer problem. I need to get that fixed. And yes, I've started calling 3 members of our community every day. If you want to be one of those people that I call personally, send me an email at info@the7minutelife.com. We want to connect with you. And then I have to finalize a blog post. Those things move me toward my goal. They're in alignment with who I am and what I want to accomplish. the connections. And look at this down at the bottom. These are psychological triggers. Are you drinking the amount of water that you say you need to? These pauses that you're hearing from me, I have a bottle of water. Wouldn't it be great if you could track how much water you had? How much sleep are you getting? Are you exercising? Are you taking time to just relax and reflect on what you want your life to be like? Are you reading? Do you know what you spend? Do you know what you eat? This was mine last night. At 8 o'clock, I had had 6 cups of water. The day before, I slept 7.5 hours. I walked 45 minutes. I reflected for 20 minutes, and I read for 25 minutes. By the end of the day, I had had my water. It's nice to know what I had done. And we get to a point, did you do what you said you would do today? And yesterday I could say, yeah, I did, and it felt great. I felt like that man running through that banner in the marathon. How often do we get to say that we get to the end of the day and we did what we said we would do today? That's what the 7-minute life is about. And we've just gone into reprint. Many of you know that we sold out of the 7-minute life daily planner. We sold out because people need a tool. They don't need a calendar. They've got a calendar. They've got a smartphone. They need a tool, a single tool that can give them the priorities, the purpose, help them understand their highest and best, help them create their goals, give them somewhere to write down their 5 before 11, and help them break down what they need to accomplish into tiny actions they can take every day. And then they can place those things into their calendar. And one of the changes that we've made on the new 7-minute life daily planner, if you read the subtitle, Time Strategies to Prioritize, Organize, and Simplify Your Life at Work and at Home, is that we've added a tagline, live your life in alignment with your priorities and purpose. But I want you to see what else is on there. You will see that there's a place for your name. There comes a point, if you want to fix your time management, that you have to take ownership of it. You have to sign your name and say, it's time. I don't want to live in chaos anymore. I don't want to not know where I'm going. I want a path. I want to take ownership of my time. It's our belief that people like me with ADD and people like you that are very busy and struggling and frustrated with the unfinished tasks, the bottomless to-do list, it's our belief that we all need a tool. Because what I want back is life. Time is life. Life is what I want to experience. John Maxwell said there are 6 steps to personal change. First, you have to think about it, and I hope I've gotten you thinking about change today. But at some point, you have to believe it can come true in your life. And when you believe change can happen, that changes your expectations. And when your expectations of who you want to be and what you want to become and what your next 90 days will hold, that changes your attitude. And when your attitude changes and you get your heart pounding and you're asking life to deliver more, that changes your behavior. And you've got to change your behavior. You cannot come in without a plan. You can't let life come at you. You have to have a daily written plan of action, and you need a tool for that. And when you change your behavior, which is what the 7-minute life is about, that changes your performance. And when you change your performance, it changes your life. It just takes my breath away. I want the positive expectation that changing my life produces. I want excitement and conviction and desire and confidence and commitment and energy. That's what the 7-minute life gives me. And I have a choice. I have a choice to not plan and just do the win. I have a choice to walk in every day and look at my calendar and just see what's on there and just live from the win. or I have a choice to plan the 7-minute life by stepping back and understanding my priorities, my purpose, my goals, understanding what drives me, what's at my heart, at my core, at my soul of my being, so that I can live a life with excitement, conviction, desire, confidence, commitment, and energy. And it takes time to do that. We're so glad you joined us today. The great news is that tomorrow you'll have a new clean slate. Tomorrow's a new day. It'll still have the boundaries of 24 hours a day, but now you have a little more information. It's not about time. It's about understanding the why, the what, and the how of what you will allow into your day. There's plenty of time. It's about having a tool to create a daily written plan of action. And I created this tool for me almost a decade ago to prioritize, organize, and simplify my life down to something manageable where I would get to the end of the day and be able to leave and say, yes, I did what I said I would do today. John Arnold, who is our Chief Inspiration Officer, said, Allyson, I want you to ask the audience, what would it mean to you if just for one day in the next 90 days, you could hop in your car at the end of the day and fasten your seatbelt and realize that you got everything done that day? How would that feel? What would it mean to you? What would it mean to your family if you were truly living a life in alignment with your priorities, with your purpose, and with the goals? What would it mean to you if you were living to your highest and best? We believe you need a tool. This is the 7-Minute Life Daily Planner. It's $24.95, and we hope you'll order your copy. We also hope that you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter. This is Allyson Lewis. We believe change happens in an instant. It happens the moment you decide to change. Welcome to the 7-Minute Life.